Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, we're going to talk about the weird Twitter stuff with Sammy Guevara and Andrade El Idolo.
Speaking of which, Sammy Guevara's just exhausted by all the drama in wrestling.
We have an injury update on a WWE Raw star.
And Tony Khan provides an update on an AEW streaming service. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I cannot believe the amount of bollocks we've got to sift through today.
Someone's been sitting in my chair. Gaming lot, I'm looking at you. This is the news.
The microphone technique isn't quite up to scratch either, is it?
Welcome, Scott. Welcome to the party, pal.
I forgot the eel. I want to fight over those guys. Put it on the record. Not violently, though. With Scrabble or something like that.
Ooh.
Right, beef.
Speaking of beef.
Beef. Got beef. Sammy Guevara and Andrade have been all over the shop. Where do you even begin with this? Well, Sammy tweeted this thing. It was ambiguous at first. It was he called someone a jobber and a favor hire and told them to be grateful and all of that stuff. Now, whether or not this was aimed at the other person we're going to talk about here wasn't clear at first, because Daniel Garcia had actually tweeted about Sammy already, and they had a Dynamite match to promote. So you
felt like a bit of a work with that.
Yeah, you kind of felt that they were just taking little snipes at each other. But Andrade El Idolo tweeted this. I said it to your face if you had a problem with me and you said nothing. I won't beat your ass because I'm a professional. Don't be scared. When I say something, I name names and I'm not scared to get fired. # Sammy. Sammy then quote tweeted that.
Oh, good.
And came through with some more drama and said, "You didn't say to me, you liar, but here's some truth, you ungrateful prick. You would be jobless if it wasn't for your dad-in-law, Ric Flair. Are you really mad at me or mad at yourself for failing to get over for a second time? Just go back to WWE like we all know you want to and faff off." Andrade, like Jose the assistant, chimed in and was like, "Yeah, I saw that incident," but apparently this all stems from claims Andrade has made in an interview with Mas Lucha. It's been transcribed here by Fightful and translated. It kind of, I don't know, where do I begin with this? I'll just give you the quote. Basically, Andrade is accusing Sammy of complaining about Andrade working too stiff. They were all good with me, but I did have one issue with a wrestler. I'm going to say his name. It was Sammy Guevara. I had an issue with him because he once came to the locker room and complained that we hit him too hard. It's wrestling. We solve it in the ring. If I hit hard, hit me hard too. I learned that he came in and he accused me like a little girl. After I learned about it, I spoke to him and asked if he had an issue with me. He said that he did not, and that's all there was to it. It's funny because not even in WWE, for example, Sheamus likes to hit, and all my respect for him because he loves to hit hard and he loves the strikes. He is wild. Even The Miz likes to throw strikes. That's a hell of a comparison. Miz can go. Not even John Cena complained about me, so if he did not complain, imagine this little kid. He didn't say little kid. Imagine this kid who is just starting. But there's that. And then Andrade replied to Sammy's big post. Sorry, this is a lot. Saying, "Okay, I'm a liar." Cry laugh emoji. See you on Wednesday. I'll tell you to your face again, and nothing you say that you do not have any problem. Right, and then he later said that he hopes to make it to Friday, where he's going to wrestle 10 in a career versus match. But that's going to be taped tonight. Yeah, I mean, we might as well do the next story and then wrap all this together, right?
Just quickly, for one, I'm glad that all the locker room stuff's been sorted out in AEW. Guevara has also said that Andy's just exhausted by all this drama going on in wrestling. The same Sammy Guevara that Andy was just talking about. I'm not talking about a different one.
I'm just tired of it, guys.
He said, there's so much drama that goes on in wrestling. It's really exhausting. It's tiring, Andy. It seems like every couple of weeks is something. I'm minding my own business on vacay, and then, people want to start drama with me. It is what it is. It's the life I signed up for, I suppose. But it's definitely tiring, and maybe I'll need to go on another vacation next week because stressful. Either way, for the people that actually support me, for the people who watch these vlogs, part of the vlog crew, I appreciate you. So, on the one hand, he's beeping on Twitter, and then on the vlog, he's just like, guys, can we stop all the drama?
Can we all just calm down a little bit? Yeah. Yeah, this is wild, isn't it? It's two guys who have been magnets for drama recently, whether they're fault or otherwise. Andrade has spent like the past month going, hey, I'm not happy here, by the way. And that's turned into the storyline with 10 in the career versus mask match. Sammy, meanwhile, he's got a history of being involved in certain incidents. And again, not all his fault, but, they come to him. I just want to shout out Ricky Starks, by the way, who tweeted then deleted, man, can my co-workers just shut the F up for a minute in the middle of all of this. So look, I think the AEW locker room drama stuff, it is what it is. I think it's overstated to a degree because every promotion in the history of history has been like this. There have been people popping off at each other, but we're living in the social media age now. People, rather than maybe expressing these thoughts elsewhere, will now go onto the platform that they have with tens of thousands of followers and put it right out there, and it's immediate access and all of that. So it's definitely a change in culture. I'm at the point, and you know me, I like the smoke. I like observing the chaos.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready for people to just shut the hell up and wrestle now.
Yeah.
I'm at that stage.
I don't even care if this is for once. I don't care if it's a work. Just like you
stop
say,
it.
Let's just keep the works inside the wrestling ring because it's I know it's on social media, it's blurring the lines.
I need a break.
Yeah, I can't. I don't think you can also turn around and say it's just so stressful when.
I'm exhausted, guys.
Whether or not it was whether or not it was a tweet that was just intended to be like, ooh, that's about Daniel Garcia because they're fighting on Wednesday, and Andrade, escalated things or whatever. I don't think you can be in Sammy's position and say, where's all this drama come from, guys?
Yeah. I mean, it's quite clear.
Nevertheless, fun for the content game, isn't it?
It's fun for the content game, man. But I think after All Out and everything else and the non-releases and all of this, I could use a couple of weeks off from the drama. I'm not gonna lie. I love it. I fiend on it. But it's like Skittles. If you have too many Skittles in a short period of time, the feeling of euphoria will turn to one of throwing up and out your bum and stuff.
A rainbow now,
rainbow poo will come out everywhere, including your ears. So you gotta stop. And now is the time to stop. Shout out to Ricky Starks.
Yes.
Right, let's talk about something else.
Yeah, please.
Montez Ford, what's going on with him?
Speaking of works,
he was showing up on Raw. He had a boot on his foot. He was like, "Hey, I'm injured. I can't wrestle." All that stuff. You don't know if it's legit or not. Okay. We don't know if it's real. Fightful Select's coming through for a report, part of their notes on Raw, stating that they hadn't heard if the Montez Ford injury is legit or not, but he was indeed walking around. The boot that he was wearing, it was actually brought in by the prop department of WWE, the one that he was walking around with on air. So yeah, speculate away on that. Maybe a storyline. Sometimes wrestlers leverage injuries into storylines. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one before. But yeah, there you go. An update on him. I hope he's not hurt because I think he's great. And I love the Street Profits.
It's weird. I never want to doubt someone being injured, obviously. But in a weird way, I hope this is a work because I don't want anyone to be injured. Yeah. And as a man who's worn a moon boot, they're a cumbersome bloody thing. They're a bloody nightmare. So I hope that was just, wear this and we'll take you out of the ring for a few weeks and then people will be excited when you come back into it, baby. I don't know what... Regardless, it got Angelo Dawkins. Angelo Dawkins some in-ring time, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice to see them kind of mixing it up in singles matches.
Exactly.
It's refreshing. I've never been too hot on the idea of splitting them soon because I think they're really good together. Well, Montez probably does have big breakout potentials as singles. I like them together as well. And the good thing about a moon boot is that when you have one, you're guaranteed to get some well-earned time off as well.
Yes, so exactly. Right, let's conclude by talking about the AEW network, sort of. Tony Khan providing a major update on whether or not AEW is going to have a streaming library. He offered the comments during an interview with the My Mum's Basement podcast, which, Andy, is one of the best podcasts out there. That's not ours.
Shouts to Robbie.
WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from. He said, I'm going to continue to work to make sure that... I'm going to continue to work to make sure that... I'm going to continue to make sure that the great library we're building is available to the fans in the best possible way. Just getting it available would be a really good start. It would be very easy to just slap them all up there. I've got other stuff that people have never seen. For example, a great wrestling show that I'm sitting on that's a pay-per-view that's nobody ever seen is The House Always Wins 2021.
The main event of that was Darby Allin versus The Butcher. Fantastic.
Money. It's an awesome show, Tony continues. People came out and were like, that is a pay-per-view. Well, we actually did it with a commentary. I guess a good thing to consider it too. compare it to, I think, would be like, I told the show that there is an ECW arena show. It's like a tape that eventually people will see, and you're all seeing it like a house show, but we're recording this with commentary. Tony Schiavone was on commentary, and we had a great thing going. I think this is something that we speculated on from very early days of AEW, but particularly once they got ROH, of course, this, it seemed, the AEW network, or whatever they're going to be calling it, seems far more likely.
Yeah, you got to provide value for these things, haven't you? And like early in AEW's life, when you had 2 pay-per-views on there, and like maybe similar to what WWE do, where maybe you get the TV shows like 30 days later because you have TV deals and you have to abide by those.
Yes.
It's not really something that can justify $5 or $10 a month or whatever it's going to be. But now, they've got like 3 years worth of pay-per-views. They've got weekly TV archives. They've got Dark. They've got Elevation. Even though that's free already, they could probably take them off YouTube and monetize them on the network.
Being the elite.
If that rift is ever going to be healed.
All the backstage footage.
Yeah, Ring of Honor, all of that. Like they've got a bit more content now to where it's more justifiable. I think we'll see it eventually. Maybe it'll come out at the time of the next bunch of content rights fees, because then you could include negotiations over when you're putting Dynamite on there, because it won't be right away.
Yeah.
Cool. I think it's inevitable at some point, and we will see how it pans out. Ring of Honor. I'd like to see Tony buy up some like tape libraries if he can.
Yeah.
If there's any like old territories or cool promotions out there that WWE hasn't snapped up, because they got loads on the network. Like the network's amazing for that, and I hope it never goes away. But if there's some available, I want to watch some like weird Georgian indie wrestling.
Exactly, make it more accessible to people. More eyes will inevitably come to those products. And actually, my exclusive, my little sources that I've got, there is an AEW network coming. Do you know when it's coming? 9 days! Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions. At WhatCulture WWE, of course, you want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from Randomly Retro, who says, "Morning, guys. What are your thoughts on this Saturday's Extreme Rules pay-per-view, premium live event, actually, with every match having a stipulation? Can't recall the last time this pay-per-view had every match with an extreme stipulation added to it."
Yeah, it's one of those things. I've always been of the stance that I would prefer stipulations were saved for organic moments rather than being... It's this time of year, we must have a Hell in a Cell match, or we must have 7 gimmick matches on the pay-per-view. But maybe it's less so with Extreme Rules, because it's a bunch of different stipulations, and it's kind of like, it's a B-level pay-per-view. The card's really good this year, but it is a B pay-per-view, right? No one's going to argue it's on the same level as WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble. So it's a bit softer with that, but I do think it would be nicer if some of these things felt more organic. I thought that the Fight Pit felt really organic until I watched that bloody segment on this week's Raw where they were both arsing about like clowns.
Yeah, that was like, weird between them. I love DC being involved.
Yeah, I'm supposed to believe that you guys hate each other, and Matt Riddle's going, bro.
You've got smelly breath.
Yeah, it's like, come on, like keep the heat going.
They were ready in that. Can you hear me? You can't see your wife. That was it. You're ready for Fight Pit then.
It's like, drop that bomb straight away. Don't do the goofy stuff. If you're in this stage of it, I'm getting sidetracked here, but I prefer it a bit more organic, but it's not as bad as like Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I really like it this year, I've got to be honest.
It's a great card.
It's a really good card. Like, how many years did we have Extreme Rules where there was about 6 just normal singles matches, and if you were lucky, 1 Extreme Rules match? I think, like you say, I agree that you shouldn't just say, oh, it's October, time for us to break out the kendo sticks or whatever it may be. But there's some great matches, and like, no Roman on this show, as we point out with it being a B show. There's an argument for about 5 different matches in this to main event. I'm really excited to see what they do, and I think some of them are completely justified, and will work really well in the story. Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey, for example.
That should be a stip. Yeah.
They're going to beat the crap out of each other on that one.
Indeed.
And I don't know how I feel about strap matches, but I've got a good feeling about this one.
It's like Reno Gattuso. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe we'll see which one this one turns out. I think good.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it for
Glass
Saturday.
half full.
I'm going to ruin the wedding I'm at to make sure we can all watch it. Senor Benja gives us our second question of the day. He says, Buenos dias, leyendas. Is there a gimmick change that happened in NXT 2.0 that you don't want to revert back to because of the change in direction? Senor Benja's is A-Kid to Axiom. Makes it more memorable and interesting, him being a comic book
I'm a computer. He's a computery guy as well.
Computery comic booky guy, yes.
Stuff. Well, the thing about NXT 2.0 is that... Sorry, NXT 2.0 is that most of my favorite people there have been this version of themselves since day one. So like Carmelo Hayes, Creed Brothers, Roxanne Perez, people like that. They've not really had the gimmick changes. Cameron
what a guy.
Bring back Trevor Lee. So like, I guess a good one probably is Wendy Chu, because like it's a silly gimmick, right? But it's a lot better than the dragon.
Yeah.
Was it a 10,000-year-old dragon?
1,000-year-old dragon lady, yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit much.
Boa up to? What are they doing with Boa?
Yeah, what's Boa?
He had magic powers and then he
Snaking
just
and bacon,
used
probably.
them to disappear from television, apparently. I like Sangha locker room leader.
Well, he's got a meet now.
He's had about 6 matches on television as a singles wrestler, and he's gone 50-50, but he's Taker. Backstage in 2.0, apparently.
In the share are back as well.
Yeah, that was her.
Remember, we did 6 months of vignettes for Veer on Raw, and now he's back in NXT less than 6 months later.
But I did get to watch him kill Dominic Mysterio, so, you know.
Yeah, that was really good.
Every cloud. Right, final question. Less of a question, more today, Andy, and a talking point, because David S. Poe messaged us yesterday. Apologies, David, I only saw this today, saying, it's officially my wedding day, so belatedly, happy wedding to you and your other half. David says, any chance for a shout out to me and the missus, the #1 Wilborn mega fan, hashtag this is the nuptials.
Hey, that's
so
very
congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Poe, hang on, especially for their wedding. That's a special wedding one, that Andy. Favourite wrestling wedding?
Good never. Right, this is quite funny more than anything else. I am particularly fond of Penelope Ford and Kip Sabian for one reason and one reason alone, because I think this is funny. Think of how big a star Edge is in the eyes of the faithful. Think about the reactions he gets. He gets incredible crowd reactions.
Oh yeah, you saw him in Cardiff.
The Penelope Ford Kip Sabian wedding outdrew Edge's appearance on NXT. Quarter hour, and I think that's funny. Also, they seem like nice people, and I'm happy for them.
Weddings do numbers, we know this.
They do.
I will always go back, because I remember I happened to be watching it live, one of the very, very, very rare occasions where I stayed up to watch Monday Night Raw on Sky Sports. It has to be Edge and Lita's wedding with Kane coming through the floor. It was the priest saying, in the name of the Father, the Son, and Jesus Christ, before getting tombstone and the plinths exploding with fire. Yeah, that's how my wedding should have gone.
Kane was at your wedding.
He was.
He was. Rafters with Sting.
Let's move on to today's and finally, because yesterday, Andy, I'm not sure if you saw this, but we spawned a meme. You know the meme of the lad talking to the girl in the nightclub that was subsequently recreated or redone, I suppose, by John Silver and Anna Jay? It's you and me now. After yesterday's news of me pretending to be Max Dupree. Shout out to Joey Metalman, who gave us the best meme yesterday.
I've not seen
I ate beans for lunch today. Get ready. Hang on, sorry. I ate beans.
Get out, man.
More memes, please.
There's only one bean man in this office, pal, and it's not you.
No.
Beans.
Speculate in the comment section as to who that might be.
Beats, Bears, Battlestar
Galactica.
Anyway.
Identity theft is a real thing.
Yeah. Millions suffer every year, Jim. God almighty. Bye!
Right, that's all your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling.
Crikey. It's gone off the rails.
You're going to tell him. Sorry, Nick.
Dingo baby.
I'm being good today.
Drop
I'm a
one.
good boy.
Go on, you might as well drop one now. Go on. Drop one.
Flip.
Oh, come on.
The flip.
Crikey dingo.
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry, Nicholas. You encourage me. You know I can't help it.
Fell apart.
Right, WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from, for the NXT review. It feels weird saying it like that. AEW Dynamite preview, of course, coming your way later on as well. Thoughts, Twitter questions, all the good stuff. Wedding requests at WhatCulture WWE. Watch there, follow both of us. Follow Andy Murray at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for honeydew.
Ooh.
Dr. Bunsen.
Is that a melon?
That's what I look like when I've got my the Muppet guy, because I'm bald.
I don't think I look like any Muppets that I can
No,
think
none of
of
them at all. Not a single one.
Right, you can follow me on Twitter at Adam Wilborn. Send us
Big
more
Bird.
weird Max Dupree-esque
You'll
memes.
find Big Bird from the Muppets.
It's time to close the programme. We've got a job to do.
Pokemon.
Right, at WhatCulture WWE for all of us. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks to him, thanks to you. We'll see you soon.